Near Kupiansk, in the Kharkiv region, Tyulpan's self-propelled mortar crews of the Zapad group of forces delivered crushing strikes on Ukrainian temporary deployment areas and command posts. Targeting data from R-18 heavy combat quadcopters guided the fire with precision, exposing enemy concentrations hidden behind cover. One by one, fortified positions and command hubs were erased, disrupting coordination and forcing surviving units to scatter. In one of the settlements of the Dnipropetrovsk region, reconnaissance units of the Vostok Group uncovered a concealed hub where Ukrainian UAV teams were being assembled and coordinated. Once the coordinates were confirmed, a Tornado-S multiple launch rocket system crew delivered a precision strike on the target. The high-accuracy munitions tore through the facility, destroying the control center along with the technical equipment that sustained enemy drone activity, effectively crippling UAV coordination in the area. Later, footage captures a four-post RU reconnaissance and strike UAV engaging enemy positions with guided munitions in a coordinated attack. The initial strike drove a group of enemy positions of the armed forces of Ukraine out of their shelter, exposing them in the open. Moments later, a follow-up munition hit as they attempted to relocate, completing the precision engagement and neutralizing the regrouping force. On the right bank of the Dnipro River in the Kherson region, a 152mm Giatsint-B gun from the Dnipro group of forces delivered a crushing strike on a fortified enemy position, wiping out the stronghold along with the troops of the armed forces of Ukraine stationed inside. Meanwhile, in the Krasnoarmysk direction, artillery units of the center group of forces unleashed accurate fire on Ukrainian positions, systematically dismantling defensive lines and tightening pressure across the front line. Near the village of Kropivnitsky in the Kirovograd region, specialists from the Rubicon Center carried out a precise strike on a training mock-up of an F-16 ADV fighter aircraft belonging to the armed forces of Ukraine. The decoy had been used to prepare engineering and technical crews for servicing Western-supplied aviation. The targeted hit destroyed the mock aircraft and disrupted the enemy's training infrastructure, further limiting Ukraine's ability to support and maintain advanced combat aircraft in the operational zone. The Sever Group opens the sequence with D-30 howitzers pounding enemy armor and firing positions in the Kharkiv direction. Fortifications collapse one by one as UAV command posts are erased from the battlefield. The focus shifts to Zaporizhzhia, where Vostok Group artillery turns Ukrainian strongholds into burning ruins. These positions, once holding the defensive line, are ripped apart under sustained fire. Near Orakov, a 152mm Msta-B delivers a direct strike on an armed forces of Ukraine stronghold. The blast wipes out the position together with the personnel inside. Footage captures the moment FPV strike drones hunt down and obliterate a Ukrainian 2S-1 Gvozdika self-propelled howitzer in the area of operations of the Russian Armed Forces North Group of Forces. The precision attack turned the artillery system into burning wreckage within seconds, removing another fire support asset of the armed forces of Ukraine and tightening pressure on enemy positions along the front line. Russian aerospace forces continue to methodically strike enemy positions across the front line. In Kovsharovka, combat aircraft targeted and destroyed a fortified building where soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine had taken shelter, collapsing the structure and eliminating the militants inside. The precise airstrike deprived Ukrainian units of both cover and manpower, further weakening their defenses in the area. The Uragan multiple launch rocket system crew from the Vostok group of forces unleashed a crushing strike on fortified Ukrainian positions in the Zaporizhzhia region, turning a key enemy stronghold into rubble. Ammunition depots hidden within the defensive hub were hit in the barrage, erupting in secondary explosions that ripped through the area. With one concentrated salvo, the armed forces of Ukraine lost both their defensive cover and critical supplies, further weakening their hold on the sector. mobile fire teams continue to hunt enemy drones across the combat zone, turning the sky into a danger zone for the armed forces of Ukraine. Ukrainian UAVs detected during reconnaissance were swiftly engaged and shot down, cutting off aerial surveillance and strike capabilities. Each interception further blinds enemy units and disrupts their ability to coordinate and resupply on the battlefield. Footage shows grenade strikes hitting a passenger train moving toward the front line, using civilian rail infrastructure as part of its transit route. Rather than relying on dedicated military transport, the convoy blended into regular traffic to reduce detection. The attack disrupted movement along the line, forcing an immediate halt and creating logistical complications in the area. It underscored how vulnerable transport corridors have become under constant drone and artillery pressure. The T-80 BVM tank crew of the Vostok Group of Forces rolled into action in the Zaporizhzhia region, delivering direct fire on entrenched enemy positions that had been used to anchor the Ukrainian defensive line. One after another, the fortified strongpoints were shattered under heavy shells, leaving no room for resistance. With the strongholds wiped out, the armed forces of Ukraine were pushed back, losing both cover and control over key ground in the sector. In Alexandrovka, in the Kramatorsk district of the Donetsk region, a Geran 2 kamikaze drone carried out a pinpoint strike on an identified enemy target. The UAV dived directly into the objective with precision, triggering a powerful explosion that destroyed the position used by the armed forces of Ukraine. The impact confirms the continued effectiveness of long-range strike drones in dismantling enemy infrastructure and pressure points along the front. In the Sinelnikovsky district of the Dnipropetrovsk region, a Russian strike drone tracked a Ukrainian fuel convoy moving through the area before locking onto a tanker truck loaded with supplies. Within seconds, the UAV dived in and detonated on impact, turning the vehicle into a burning wreck. Air Special Forces from the Rubicon Center continue to hunt relentlessly across the battlefield, delivering pinpoint FPV drone strikes on key enemy assets and positions. Their drones tore through enemy motor vehicles, ground robotic platforms, and communication infrastructure, crippling coordination and movement along the front. UAV command posts, temporary deployment areas of the armed forces of Ukraine, and even a self-propelled artillery system were systematically destroyed. Reconnaissance and strike drones of various types were also intercepted and eliminated, further blinding and weakening Ukrainian forces in the area. Another key crossing has been erased from the map as operators from the Svarog's Swarm Drone Squadron carried out a precision FPV strike on a bridge prepared by the armed forces of Ukraine. The structure, already rigged with explosives by Ukrainian units, was turned into rubble in seconds once the drone slammed into its core. With the crossing destroyed, movement and supply routes in the area were severed, further isolating enemy positions. Last, over the Konstantinovskaya agglomeration, Russian aerospace forces unleashed a heavy wave of aerial firepower as the Smutlayanka squadron guided massive FAB bombs onto entrenched Ukrainian positions. The strikes included colossal 3-ton munitions alongside 500-kilogram bombs, each impact ripping through defensive zones and turning fortified areas into craters of fire and debris. That's all for today's update. Thanks for watching, and don't miss our upcoming videos.